This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Overthinking, you and I. What do we have to lose? 'Cause I'm wasting all my time thinking of the things we could do. If you gave me one more sign, I could find a way to break through. A way to break through. A way to break through.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know it. It never has, and it never will matter who I am. What matters is who you are, because you're on that side and I'm on this one. So there you go. Anyways, how are you? I hope everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods. As you know, it's been at least 24 hours since we hung out. But let's talk about what the hell's going on today, because today is Friday, December the 22nd of 2023, day 356 of the year, and only 9 days left to go. And then it's over. The countdown to extinction 2024 will be intact. And then we go from there. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then we're hanging out over there. Radio. Yep, we get to hang out with those people over there in Radio Big Land. Yeah, so let's talk about it. So this is going to be the last live one. The last live one of the year. Yeah, there you go. You'll get some podcasts. You get a few podcasts before the end of the year from the J. Hold on, with Safety FM with Jay Allen. We'll do a few. You'll have a few of those that will come about. But this will be our last live one here on Radio Big. The last live one on the Rated R show. So, Rated R Safety Show. Let me make sure that I'm clear. So, that's what we got. This is it. After this, we'll be back on the 3rd. Yeah, the 3rd of January. We'll get to do all kinds of fun stuff. But this is it. So what are we going to do today? Well, we normally will do, Freeform Friday, because it is Friday, so we're going to stick to that. Here's the great part about this. That if you want to interact with the show, it's easy to do so. Callinradio.com. We'll get you directly into here. And then outside of that, well, we're doing our thing. Catching up on everything that we didn't get to. I guess today, as we're doing hour 2 and 3, you'll get a lot of stuff of year in review, because, there's a lot of that crap. I mean, there's a lot of that important stuff that happened. So we'll talk about some of that stuff as we get into it today. And that's it. That's going to be it. And then we get to hang out and go, oh, happy holidays. Because today's that weird day at work. Let's talk about it. Where everybody's going to be like, oh, I'm going to see you and miss you and all that kind of fun stuff. Because, this is the end. Then you come back the day after Christmas, if that's what you have done. Or if you decide to take vacation time, you're not coming back till the new year. Just the way that the cookie crumbles. So with that being said, why don't we start talking immediately about what the hell will be trending.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so what's on tap? What's the trend? Bird goes bankrupt and American energy production explodes. We'll talk about that as we get into the hit list. Taylor Swift will spend the holidays with Travis Kelce because this is important. And Bay and Jay take their kids sightseeing in New York City. Morgan Wallen teams up with Drake for a new music video. And Zac Efron wears shades while promoting his new movie. Ye is selling his bomb shelter. Yeah, I said that. And a forthcoming court filing are expected to be to leave Prince Andrew antsy at Christmas. So there you go. So we're going to talk about all of this stuff. We're going to encounter all of that as we talk about what the hell is going on. So if you're ready, I think I'm ready, and we're going to do a lot of news, a lot of catching up, because it is Freeform Friday. That's what it is. So if you want to know how we do this, we talk about safety in the news and safety. That's just kind of the way that it goes. We will have Trey Thomas come in today and talk about what the hell is going on. Then we're going to compile everything that we did not talk about earlier this week and give it to you. And then maybe slap around some years in review stuff in hour 2 and 3. So if you're good with that, I'm good with it. And then we can get the whole thing rolling right now. What do you think? If you're good, I'm good. And I got some news for you. So let's do it.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio. I'm Trey Thomas. President Biden believes Japanese steelmaker Nippon Steel's plan to buy U.S. steel deserves scrutiny. A top White House official said on Thursday that Biden is concerned about potential national security and supply chain issues. White House National Economic Advisor Lael Brainerd said Biden has been clear that his administration welcomes international manufacturers creating jobs for American workers, but he's concerned about a foreign entity buying what Brainerd called an iconic American-owned company. The United Steelworkers Union opposes the sale. Top Biden administration officials will head to Mexico in the coming days as there's a surge of migrants crossing the southern border.
Additional enforcement actions are urgently needed so that key ports of entry can be reopened across our shared border.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told reporters Thursday the Secretary of State and DHS Secretary will meet with the President of Mexico. The Pentagon is making sweeping changes to its guidance for reducing harm to civilians from U.S. military operations. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered the overhaul a year ago after a series of high-profile instances of U.S. military operations killing civilians in recent years. The new policy is aimed at considering risk to civilians as part of planning before a military strike occurs. 2 men have been charged in the death of a New England Patriots fan after an altercation at Gillette Stadium. Patriots fan Dale Mooney died after collapsing during a fight with a group of fans at the game between the Miami Dolphins and New England in September. John Vieira and Justin Mitchell, both from Rhode Island, have been charged with disorderly conduct and assault and battery. You're listening to NBC News Radio.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Prosecutors want the trial of Brian Kohberger to happen next summer. Brian Shook reports.
Kohberger is charged in the deaths of 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. Court documents show prosecutors want the trial to happen during the summer because Moscow High School and area universities will be out of session. Parking near the courthouse is limited, and the media interest in the trial is expected to draw more people. The trial is expected to last around 6 weeks.
A jury has acquitted 3 Tacoma, Washington police officers who were accused in the death of Manny Ellis in 2020. The attorney for the Ellis family, James Bible, says he disputes the jury's decision.
Acquittal doesn't mean innocence. and the officers in this case are by no stretch of the imagination innocent.
The officers were found not guilty of all charges. The medical examiner ruled Ellis's death a homicide. Comedian Joe Coy will host the 2024 Golden Globes. The hosting gig marks Coy's first for a major award show. The actor has starred in films like Haunted Mansion and Easter Sunday. The 81st annual Golden Globes will be held January 7th. A U.S. appeals court has revived the child pornography lawsuit over Nirvana's Nevermind album cover. Spencer Eldon, the baby depicted on the cover, initially sued the Seattle band and its label Universal Music Group in 2021. The album depicts Eldon swimming naked towards a dollar bill, and he claimed the cover sexually exploited him and continues to cause personal harm. A Los Angeles judge dismissed the case last year due to Eldon not suing within a 10-year limitations period after discovering the cover. But a U.S. appeals court reversed that decision on Thursday. You're listening to NBC News Radio.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacky? Safety trainers still training a warped version. How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Polzel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Let me talk to you real quick. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Spend your time this month shopping for gifts and sipping cocoa, not stuck at the checkout line. Sign up for HelloFresh and get everything you need to whip up a fresh, tasty meal delivered to your door. Just choose your recipes, select a delivery date, and relax knowing the dinner's on its way. HelloFresh has over 45 recipes and more than 100 seasonal add-on items to choose from every week, so it's easier than ever to find something everyone will enjoy. Go to HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free. That's HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free to use the code SafetyFM free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free with code SafetyFM free. And don't forget that this is why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at RadioBig.fm.
Let's start using using cutting-edge warp-speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
You know, listening at your own risk is always an important thing, because if you're listening at anybody else's risk, what exactly are you going to be doing? Maybe that's the question of questions. What do you think there? Oh, yeah. It probably helps if we change the camera view there, my friends and my colleagues, my partners in crime, in regards of what is going on. What do you think? Anyway, so there you go. 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are doing our thingo, because that's what we do, our thing at this particular time. No doubt about that. A lot of news information coming your general direction, so that is the way that it goes. Anyways, take a listen to this, because we got lots of info to cover. Bird goes bankrupt in American... Well, no, I already told you that. So, city dwellers will remember the explosion of the on-demand scooter rental companies in the late 2010s. And one of those companies, Bird, managed to rake in $1.2 billion in investments for $2.5 billion valuation back in 2019. Well, Bird is filing for bankruptcy, but will continue operation as it restructures its debt. It went through a flush of cash for a while. It faced ongoing operation issues. In one case, company Notorious expanded in Santa Barbara, California, without getting the necessary permissions of the city government. Last year, it was delisted from the New York Stock Exchange after losing 90% of its value following an administration of the company that it was having issues, and it has been routinely inflating the revenue numbers. So, yeah, how would you inflate your revenue numbers and expect, and I am going to say expect, for people to be willing to invest into it? Like, seriously, so let's talk about this. If I tell you, hey, I want you to invest in me, and I've been lying about the numbers that I've been getting, you're probably going to have a lot of questions. You're not going to sit there and go, oh, yes, let's invest some more. Just not how it goes. That is not the way the cookie crumbles, that is for sure. So what do you think? That's important to hear, because your thoughts matter. So there you go. Anyways, a report published by the U.S. Census Bureau shows that New York State has the most net loss in residents this year, with the population falling by more than 100,000 between July 2022 and July 2023. Texas and Florida are larger populations than New York State, and those saw the top two most gains in total population. Overall, the national population increased by 1.6 million. Analysts inside of the Bureau suggest that the drop in the death rates and increase in immigration drove the increase. These numbers also do not count those who are living inside of the United States without authorization, as they await trial dates for the years to determine the asylum claim. So there you go. This is according to census.gov. What do you think here? I will tell you, I have lived in Florida and I have lived in Texas. And yeah, there's always people seeming to go in and out of that joint. I've never lived in New York. And listen, depending on the area of New York, do you want to be there or not? I mean, it's entirely up to you. That's the great thing about selection of the 50 states if you live here. So let's talk about this one. An Oklahoma man will spend a year in prison after getting busted for illegally selling elephant tusk as to an undercover U.S. Fish and Wildlife Special Agent. Though he only pocketed $350 on the sale, Dusty Caldell will also have 3 years of supervised release following the completion of his time in the clink. One of his conspiracies has already begun. What? Conspiracies? Really? One of his conspirators has already begun the 1-year probation, and another one began a 1-year sentence on his own earlier this year. This is according to KLTV. So what do you think here? elephant tusk. Why would you want to sell those? I mean, I'm just wondering. I mean, everybody has to do their own thing in regards to what they're doing, but geez, man, that's one realm that I'm not sure I'd want to get into. So take a listen to this one. The United States is now on pace to produce more oil than any country in history, ramping up more than 3.3 barrels per day. Yep. That pace would put the U.S. at least even keel of Saudi Arabia and Russia. One energy analyst tells CNN that the increase in output is a result of White House getting bugged by the reality of high gas prices and Russia invasion of Ukraine, and that President Biden has been dragged kicking and screaming from the initial keep it on the ground strategy towards a more pragmatic policy. In 2021, White House moved quickly to shut down the Keystone KL pipeline over environmental concerns, but recently authorized the Willow project in Alaska. So I don't know. So what do you think here? Definitely some things to think about. So there you go. Anyways, a dozen French bulldogs were stolen from a pet shop in California last month. Surveillance footage from the heist shows the four masked men grabbing and tossing them into the back of a van, while some of the dogs were tossed like they were stuffed animals. The store owners, Andrea Avalos, told KTLA. Collectively, the pups are worth about $100,000. Avalos is offering a reward of, of their safe return through an amount not disclosed. Worth noting, in 2022, the American Kennel Club named French Bulldog as the most popular breed in the U.S. This is according to KTLA. So what do you think? I'm just asking the question. What do you think about it? Because listen, it is an interesting time when it comes to stuff like that. I don't know if you want that kind of breed, but hey, it is up to you. What kind of dog do you like, if you like any dog at all? I'm just asking the question. So there you go. I just ask questions. Doesn't mean that I answer. Do I answer questions? I think I do sometimes, maybe. Sometimes. Here, there, everywhere. Some things to go over and all that kind of fun stuff. So, it is currently 22 minutes past the top of the hour. Where would you like to go? We want to start going into this whole thing of the stuff that we didn't talk about, or do we want to go into Money Matters? Let's do some Money Matters. Let's get some Erin Royale inside of here and let her tell you what the hell's going on.
Toyota is recalling about 1 million cars in the U.S. because of a possible defect with a sensor in the front passenger side airbag. Silvana Anau reports.
Toyota says the sensor could short circuit, preventing the airbag from deploying in an accident. There are 6 models being recalled, covering the years 2020 to 2022, including the Camry, RAV4, and Lexus ES and RX.
It's the holiday season, and with it comes the confusing task of tipping.
Ultimately, tipping is very personal, and it's a gesture of your gratitude, so it should always be an amount that you're comfortable with.
This is the season to give, and that includes giving back to those who helped you throughout the year. Guidelines range from at least $25 each in a larger building where you have several doormen to $150.
And we just get such good service, and we really like the people who, like our sanitation workers and the mail carrier.
U.S. mail carriers are prohibited from accepting cash or gift cards, so a non-cash gift is best. For a babysitter who helps you part-time on a regular basis, 2 days of pay is considered appropriate. For a housekeeper, 1 week's pay is a nice tip if you can manage it. The Federal Trade Commission is proposing new rules to put more limits on tech companies' collection and use of children's data, particularly when used for targeting advertising. In announcing the proposed new rules this week, FTC Chair Lena Khan said kids must be able to play and learn online without being endlessly tracked by companies looking to hoard and monetize their personal data. The proposed rule changes would bar tech companies from keeping data indefinitely, and education tech companies would have to get school approval to collect kids' data, which couldn't be used for commercial purposes. The social media platform X is back online after a global outage. Over 70,000 U.S. users reported issues Thursday, as did users in Canada, Britain, France, and other countries. The cause of the outage is not yet known. Consumer and business news, Erin Royale, NBC News Radio.
Oh, you want to know that kind of cluster of what people are going to be saying on why that thing was down? Oh, well, just leave it at that. Anyways, the Dow added about 322 points to close at 37,404 on Thursday. The S&P added about 48 points to close at 4,746, and the NASDAQ increased by 185 points to close at 14,963. West Texas Intermediate closed at $74 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $79 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.12 on Thursday, and Bitcoin has a modest gains on the day, trading just around 43,780 on Thursday evening. There was more than 2,500 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Thursday, and about 75 such cancellations. So there you go. What else did we see? What else did we see? What else did we hear? And all that kind of fun stuff. What else? Well, let's talk about the Mega Millions. Maybe let's do that. Tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for $57 million jackpot or $28.4 million cash payout. Saturday night's Powerball drawing will be for $620 million jackpot or $310.8 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. So what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you, because you'll know what you think, because I have no idea what to think anymore. Because that is what I do around here, not think at all. So there you go. Let's talk about it, because there's all kinds of fun stuff as we are going. You know, I have to tell you, it's amazing sometimes taking a look around and taking a listen to what happens, especially when it comes to the world and traveling and all that stuff during this time of the year. So, you know, because I live in Florida, it's always amazing to me the amount of people that want to meet the week of Christmas. Yeah, the week of Christmas. And I say that for this following reason. They want to have a business meeting the week of Christmas for that standpoint of them getting their ass down here on the company dime. I mean, I get it. And, you know, they roll with it and say, hey, I want to do a business meeting knowing that most people will not be available during that time. But, hey, I guess it's a slicky, Ricky way of doing stuff. So as we look into Florida and coming down during this time of the year, let's do some stuff and talk about the world of safety for the holidays. So be sure to celebrate safely in your home this holiday season. That's the word from the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, Erica Benitez, who says that if you have a real Christmas tree, keep it well maintained or marinated. No, I'm kidding. Not marinated. Maintained, of course.
Be sure to water it daily and check the water levels. Fresh green needles are a good indicator that your tree is not dry.
Fresh green needles, she says. She says that you should also keep candles at least 12 inches away from decorations or anything else that can catch fire, and don't leave the kitchen unattended while you're preparing a holiday meal. Kitchen fires are the #1 cause of house fires in the nation. Miami, so also she goes as far as saying that the trees should be watered daily, and that, you know, the green needles are a good indicator. As you did state, take a listen.
Do not place your tree where it blocks an exit, a door, or a window, and place it away from a heating source. The longer a natural tree is kept after Christmas, the more likely it is to dry, catching fire. Do not overload your extension cords by plugging in too many decorations, and be sure to use the proper extension cord for either outdoor or indoor use.
It sounds like a total cluster in regards of what needs to be done in regards to keeping it up. What do you think? Do you think keeping up with the fake ones are better? I mean, I'm just asking the question. Don't damn me for speaking a piece of mind, because silence isn't golden when I'm holding it inside. Oh, hold on. Those are lyrics to a song. So there you go. What do you think? Do you agree with her? Not agree with her? I don't know. Some stuff to think about. So are you feeling stressed out already because of the holiday stuff? Well, this holiday season, for many people, it is the happiest time of the year, but the jam-packed schedules can strain the mental health of many. Kitty Gray has more.
Mental health experts suggest to be aware of your stress levels during the holidays.
We're driven by expectations, and there's external expectations of the family. We've always done this in the family, and therefore it's your job now to maintain this, and there's expectations we place on ourselves.
Bradley Dirks, Kansas State University, says seasonal demand can easily.
We get overwhelmed, we get tired, we get worn out, and we've done it for how many years?
Dirks says stress can lead to physical illness, depression, anxiety, and even substance abuse. But there are some ways to manage our stress, like being more selective with our time and taking walks when we can. I'm Katie Gray.
Yeah, I tend to try to walk away from everybody if all possible. Oh, that's not what we're talking about. Okay, sorry. Ignore that comment. Anyways, 29 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's talk about this one. The 20 proposed layoffs in Wayne Westland Community Schools have been unanimously voted down by the school board. The proposed job cuts were due to the discovery of millions of dollars being mismanaged by the district.
I still find it hard to believe a whole department with multiple checks and balances didn't catch a multi-million-dollar mistake.
That was one of the many people who addressed the board last night. The board also voted to elect a new president after the error was found. The district is still has a plan of financial shortfalls. This teacher spoke under the Wayne Westland Community School Board as they fought to prevent the 20 layoffs.
They are the backbone of this district. They are the ones that wipe the tears. They are the ones that deal with the problems.
So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there as we are talking about it. No doubt about that. Take a listen to this. Residents who live near the migrant encampment in Denver, yes, in Denver, are getting fed up with the tents and trash. Bal Blackford lives in Zuni neighborhood outside of Denver and says that the situation is becoming overwhelming.
I just keep seeing more buses show up and more and more. And it stresses me out. And if the tents look like they're coming up here, I don't want to live there.
10 buses arrived on Thursday with over 300 migrants inside of the city. Is on track to break 100 buses in December. Some residents say that it's the city's responsibility to pick up the trash that's overflowing. Officials say to pick up trash 5 days a week and that are working on a solution to satisfy those that live in the nearby neighborhoods. So what do you think there in regards of us talking about it? Because, hey, listen, a lot of stuff going on right there. No doubt about it. So a lot of stuff to think about. Let's talk about this one real quick. Former New York City mayor and Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani has filed for bankruptcy.
Rudy Giuliani's assets is being between $1 and $10 million, and his debts at between $100 and $500 million, although the specific layout of the debts adds up to about $152 million.
In Washington, NBC's News, Kent Dillian says that it has come after a Georgia jury decided last week that he must pay $148 million in damages for defaming two election workers. In the documents filed on Thursday, Giuliani claimed that he has somewhere between $100 and $500 million in liability. He said that he has between $1 and $10 million in assets. Among the creditors, Giuliani lists that the Internal Revenue Service and Hunter Biden, who is suing Giuliani for alleged taking his laptops and violating his privacy. Also, Giuliani's defamation judgment is in limbo. Take a listen.
This defamation judgment is not dischargeable in the bankruptcy. It's on pause now because he's filing for bankruptcy.
Dillian also says the judgment against Giuliani will stay with him until his death.
Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss will get to put liens on his wages, may get a piece of his assets, but the reality is they're going to get pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, pennies on your dollar in regards to getting your ass. So there you go. I mean, I guess you kind of have to be careful sometimes on the things that you say. I'm just saying, it gets weird. It gets weirder and weirder as we go down this particular rabbit hole of life. As we are talking. Let's do one more before we get into some more news here. Airlines are expecting over 39 million passengers to travel by plane this holiday season. Southwest Airlines CEO Bob Jordan promises there will be no repeat of 2022.
We are ready. We've invested in trucks and new pads and staffing and technology. I'm very, very proud of our people.
Hold on, you invested in trucks? What, are you gonna take people via trucks? I want to know. Many travelers still have nightmares after the snowstorm that triggered last year's Southwest Airlines meltdown. That saw nearly 17,000 flights canceled, hundreds of thousands of passengers left stranded, and mountains of lost luggage. This year, Southwest says that it has invested heavily in de-icing equipment, revamped its computer system, and plenty of staff for this year. One reason so many of us are traveling this year is it costs less. Airfare is down about 12%. Southwest Airlines CEO Bob Jordan says that Thanksgiving travel went smoothly.
Thanksgiving Day, there was snow, 97% on time, 0 cancels across our entire system.
Okay, Katie Nastro from Going.com says travel prices are down.
Airfare is down 12% from where we saw it last year, as well as gas prices are down quite considerably from 2022.
Yeah, gas prices, my ass, buddy. I will tell you, they went up like 30, 40 cents over this last week, at least in the area that I'm in. So there you go. So let's do this because it is 34 minutes past the top of the hour. So let's do that thing that we do normally at an earlier time around this time. And we call that sucker the news. So let's go ahead and get into some of that stuff because we need to.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Julia Chapman. There are further delays at the UN Security Council as diplomats continue to negotiate a resolution on Gaza. For days now, council members have been meeting behind closed doors to come to some agreement as the world's eyes remain fixed on the council to take decisive action on the matter. Jody Jacobs reports from the United Nations.
It's been days of negotiations with many diplomats seemingly frustrated that the vote has not taken place yet. At the heart of the delays are apparent disagreements by the US on the text, with one sticking point being the demand that the UN set up a monitoring mechanism to facilitate the aid in and out of Gaza. The US Deputy Ambassador to the UN, Robert Hood, has reportedly said, "We're still working at it, but we aren't there yet." Meanwhile, as this all unfolds, the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres says that the intense fighting, lack of electricity and limited fuel has severely restricted the UN's efforts to provide life-saving aid to the people in Gaza. Jody Jacobs at the United Nations in New York.
Czech police are looking for a motive after the country's worst ever mass shooting on Thursday. 15 people were killed, including the gunman. 25 people were injured, with authorities warning that the death toll could still rise. Ross Cullen reports.
Well, armed police were deployed to the area in and around the famous Charles University in downtown Prague. It's one of the oldest universities in the world and just a short walk from the landmark Charles Bridge in the centre of the Czech capital. There were videos purportedly showing the gunman dressed in all black and aiming a weapon over the side of a balcony, police confirming that he had been eliminated, in their words, but not before those confirmed fatalities. Other videos showing students sheltering high up on the side of a building on a narrow ledge just underneath a balcony. Other footage showing hundreds of people fleeing the university and thousands running away in the centre of the Czech capital. This is a very busy time of year for Prague, which has lots of festive markets, which are very popular, and that shooting coming just 4 days before Christmas.
A U.S. federal judge has blocked a California law that would have banned guns in most public places. The ruling is a blow for gun control advocates, but the state says it plans to appeal the decision. Ira Spitzer reports.
The California law would have prohibited people from carrying concealed guns in 26 locations, including public parks, playgrounds, and churches, regardless of whether the gun owner had a permit. However, a federal judge filed a temporary injunction preventing the law from taking effect, writing that it was sweeping, repugnant to the Second Amendment, and openly defiant of the Supreme Court. The Second Amendment of the Constitution gives Americans the right to bear arms, although the interpretation of that right is a matter of dispute. California's Attorney General says the decision, if allowed to stand, would endanger communities and that the state plans to appeal. Ira Spitzer, San Francisco.
The winter session of the Indian Parliament has wrapped up, and this time around it was marked by large protests, expulsions, a major security breach, and a record number of suspensions. The government has maintained that the suspensions of opposition MPs were valid and has promised to take corrective measures following the security breach. But as Priyata Brajabasi reports, opposition parties are vowing to continue their protest against the government.
It's been a tumultuous few weeks for the Indian Parliament, and the sharp divisions witnessed between the government and the opposition are playing out here on the streets of Delhi. Opposition parties are holding nationwide demonstrations to protest the suspension of 146 parliamentarians over the course of the winter session. They're accusing the government of undermining democracy. Experts say the suspensions can actually be a blessing in disguise for the India bloc, an opposition coalition formed to fight the BJP in the upcoming elections, an alliance that has been seen as fragmented in the past. The 27 opposition parties that formed this bloc say that protests like this will continue so that people in the country can see how democracy is being subverted. Priyata Brajbasi, New Delhi.
To recap the top stories, there are further delays at the UN Security Council as diplomats continue to negotiate a resolution on Gaza. Czech police are looking for a motive after the country's worst ever mass shooting on Thursday killed 15 people. And a U.S. federal judge has blocked a California law that would have banned guns in most public places, calling it unconstitutional. That's the latest feature story news. Julia Chapman reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things is mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
We are radio. We are sarcasm. We are both combined. Radio Big.
Under pressure, no more time. Can we make a move? Overthinking, you and I. What do we have to lose? 'Cause I'm wasting all
Oh, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, the way to break through. Currently 44 minutes past the top of the hour. Still listening to the Rated R Safety Show on Radio Big and Safety FM. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about everything. Let me talk to you, because that's what we're doing here. So this right here, yeah, this is Lucha with Breakthrough. Yeah, it's a way to break through as you're getting ready for this holiday season. Listen, we will do our holiday music stuff over there on that other side of the equation. We've been dropping on the pod for the last few years. So we'll get to that at some point. So anyways, with that being said, let's talk about it. You and I, what do we have to lose? Let's talk about how you can give a little streamer interaction to this one. Lucha, Breakthrough, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music. We want to thank Lucha for allowing us to play this thing. Okay, here we go. Let's do some techno. Yeah, that's what we got for you. Let me talk to you. Yeah, way to break through. So there you go. Thanks, Lucha, for that one. As we are coming in right now in regards of talking about it. Oh, you know, we probably have to do an ender here, when we actually do a little bit more of that song, because you can never get enough of some good techno stuff. And I'm going to tell you this, because I'll talk about it. If you come over to RadioBig.fm with me for over the next couple hours, I will tell you I have fallen in love, because there is no other way to put it, with some music of a band named Canon. Jeez, that is some of the most dreamiest stuff that I think I've ever heard in my life. But we can leave that for a whole separate conversation, because that's going to get strange, as I will tell you about, all the music there that I can't stop listening to. I feel like that's what I spend my life doing now in regards of listening to that music. So anyways, with that being said, let's talk real quick about the most important thing that I will ever, and I mean ever, tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. To Write Love on Her Arms wants you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com, and click on the section that says Find Help. That's To Write Love on Her Arms, TWLOHA.com. Listen, things are not always easy. Things are not always difficult, but sometimes we just need someone to talk to. And for you to be able to do that, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com to do so. So go to Write Love on Her Arms, and that will get everything moving and grooving for you. Okay? There you go. That's the plan. That is the thing. That is what we do. To Write Love on Her Arms. Listen, during this time of the year, things don't have to be perfect. It is okay to say you're not okay. And some people are like, well, it's the holiday season. You should be cheery. No, you don't have to be. It's okay not to be okay during this time of the year. And all I'm going to tell you is here's some resources on some people you can talk to in regards of getting everything, copacetic is what we'll say. So TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. That will get you there. Click on the section that says Find Help, and things will get moving and grooving for you. So there you go. Anyways, let's continue talking real quick, because there's always stuff to talk about. Let's talk about some new movies that are coming out today. Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom, PG-13, after failing to defeat Aquaman for the first time. Black Manta wields the power of the mythic Black Trident to unleash the ancient and Marillion force, hoping to end the reign of terror. Aquaman forges an unlikely alliance. So there you go. That comes out today, PG-13. Anyone But You comes out today, rated R. After an amazing first date, Bao and Ben's attraction turns ice cold, but themselves unexpectedly reunited for a destination wedding in Australia. So the two have to act mature as two mature adults and pretend to be a couple. Sydney Sweeney's in that movie, so there you go. If you want to go take a look at that, that comes out today. Also, The Iron Claw. It is a biopic, a true story of an inspired Von Erich brothers who made the history of intensely competitive world of professional wrestling in the early 1980s. That's with Zac Efron. That it comes out today. In Migration, PG-13, a family of ducks try to convince their overprotective father to go on to a vacation of a lifetime. Elizabeth Banks stars in that one. That one comes out today. So there you go. So let's talk about this real quick. 4 in 10 of us are downsizing their holiday celebration this year by making do with decorations from Christmas past and setting limits to when it comes to spending. Good idea. In a poll of 2,000 U.S. adults who celebrated Christmas, 51% said that they'd cut their budgets this year but don't want to compromise too much. With that in mind, 16% of parents are not getting gifts for each other so they can spend more on their kids, and 24 have decided not to buy presents for people outside of their immediate family. 18% made the decision not to send Christmas cards this year, and 20% have put a limit on presents. And even Christmas dinner is taking a hit. 1 in 10 said that they bought a smaller turkey, and about 12% decided that Christmas crackers are even necessary this year. So you mean that some people still send Christmas cards? I didn't even know that was a thing. And then the other side of the equation, are you guys who look really stupid wearing the paper crown you get with Christmas crackers? That it might have been bold for Christmas crackers aren't necessary any this year. I mean, it's kind of weird because some people like to wear that crown, not the crown of thorns, by the way. Let's not get that mixed up because that's a whole other information or equation to talk about. That is for sure. So there you go. Let's talk about this one. Santa has been cleared for takeoff, and Bree Tennis wants to tell you a little bit about it.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture has cleared Santa's reindeer to enter and exit the United States airspace. Dr. Rosemary Sifford is the chief veterinary officer with the agency. She says Santa's sleigh-pulling reindeer have free passage into and out of the U.S. starting at 6 p.m. December 24th through 6 a.m. December 25th. All the reindeer passed all required health inspections, and it's a go for Christmas. I'm Bree Tennis.
Okay, thank you, Bree Tennis, for keeping us in the keeping us in the loop on what is going on. Anyways, let's do this real quick. Let's talk about the Motivation Minute because John Smalls is waiting in the wings.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. Today's quote was submitted by Maya. Cody Brett said, "Sometimes I think about the different characters I play in everybody's story. I'm a terrible person in some people's narratives and a godsend in others. And none of that has anything to do with the person I truly am. The lens that others view you through is colored by their upbringing, their beliefs, and their individual experiences. Some people see your bright personality as endearing and others see it as annoying. Some people think you're weak and emotional and others feel safe to be themselves around you. Some people think you're rude and selfish and others respect the way you stand up for yourself. Some people admire the way you take pride in the way you look and others think you're conceited. And none of it has to do with who you truly are as a person. What you have to understand is that you have no authority over how other people view you, so never try to control the way they see you because the only thing that truly matters when the dust settles down at the end of the day is what you genuinely see in yourself." There's more to this quote if you'd like to read it at motivationminute.org.
The FDA has approved a tool to help determine if a person is susceptible to opioid abuse. The test uses genetic markers to make the determination and is meant for those who may need opioids on a short-term basis following a procedure or injury. The process of the test is a cheek swab that tests for certain genetic markers that are associated with drug addiction. Despite the FDA approval, some experts warn that the test could lead to false positives and a false sense of security for patients. Catching up on sleep may actually be possible. A new study shows people who catch up on sleep on the weekends may prevent cardiovascular health issues. Of the study's participants, those who slept at least 1 hour longer on weekends than they did during the week had lower rates of stroke and heart disease. The study also showed a profound difference for those who got less than 6 hours of sleep during the week and slept for at least 2 extra hours over the weekend. Health Update, Jonathan O'Halloran, NBC News Radio.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. Is your heart breaking? Are your eyes red and swollen from crying? Are your cheeks wet with tears? Take heart. Jesus is here to heal your hurts redeem your failures, forgive your sins, and make all things new. He's here to wipe away your tears and to restore your joy. No matter how dark your situation, you may be sure God is working on your behalf. Isaiah 9 says, "The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light." Father God, we're living in desperate times. Evil stalks our land, does its unholy work under the cover of darkness. Let your light shine. Let your glory break forth. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, yes, too stupid. All right, I agree with you 100%. So let's talk real quick. Let's talk about some Christmas whack facts as we're about to get you the hell out of here. A fruitcake properly prepared and stored will last at least 25 years. The movie It's a Wonderful Life was a box office flop. It wasn't until 1974 when its copyright had expired that TV networks will air it for free that it became a beloved Christmas movie. Paul McCartney earns about $400,000 each year for his song Wonderful Christmas Time, which is widely regarded as one of his worst songs. Although gingerbread houses date back to 1600s, the tradition became widespread in Germany after the story of Hansel and Gretel was published back in 1812. In Slovakia, it is a tradition to keep Christmas carp in the family bathroom for a few days before they are eaten. There you go. Before adopting a turkey, a tradition of Christmas meal in England was a pig head covered with mustard. Yummy. Think about that. Anyways, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2010, President Obama repeals the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. The 17-year-old policy prohibited any homosexual or bisexual person from disclosing their sexual orientation or from who speaking about any homosexual relations, including marriage. The act was issued back in December of 1993 under the Clinton administration. That happened back in 2019. Okay, let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Naomi Biden turns 30. Let's see, Meghan Trainor turns 30. DaBaby turns 32. Jordan Sparks, 34. Chris Kobach turns 43. Mike Thompson, 51. Ted Cruz, 53. Let's see, Diane Sawyer, 78. And Steve Carlton turns 79. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, it's Mathematics Day, Forefathers Day, National Cookie Exchange Day, National Short Person Day, National Date Nut Bread Day, National Flashlight Day. So there you go. Some things to think about if you want to celebrate them. So there you go. What else do we have going on? Well, I'm sure I have something else because I always have something else. If you need a random joke for today, try this. Nothing as mean as giving a little child something useful for Christmas. Nothing is as mean as giving a little child something useful for Christmas. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What is your absolute best Christmas memory? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. If you go home for the holidays, stats show that there is a 1 in 3 chances this will end up happening. What is it? You'll sleep in your childhood bedroom. Wouldn't you have to move out of your parents' house first? Okay, got it. So there you go. Always some things to talk about. Anyways, thank you for hanging out and doing the things that you get to do and that I get to do. Because listen, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do what I do around here without you. Thank you for this significant year of 2023 because it has definitely been a doozy hanging out with you. I hope you have a happy holiday and a happy new year. That is for sure. I will be back on January the 3rd to hang out and we get to do it all over again. And we'll see what the hell 2024 has to bring with us. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. If you're not coming over to Radio Big, enjoy the rest of the year. We'll talk on January the 3rd. If you are coming over to Radio Big, we'll talk about the music world and the sounds of entertainment, because that is what we do. Stay here on Safety FM, and you'll see the likes of Sheldon Primus doing the things that he does. So for the last time this year, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you. Mean it and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.